My friends, what's going on, guys? My name is Kai. Welcome to the Sober Living channel. If you're new here, thanks, bud. Appreciate it. Consider subscribing. It really helps my channel grow. So guys, I'm in a great mood. I had a great date tonight. I went out with somebody and we had a wonderful time and we're gonna keep seeing each other. So that's great. Had a great time. Guys, I just took a look at the results of the poll that I put out the other day, and it looks like instead of hearing a comedy routine where I make fun of HelloFresh and everything like that, you guys would rather hear about how I almost died in the snow. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. I figured that would happen. Guys, let me tell you the story about how I almost died in the snow, and I want to start the story by saying I've never told the story to my dad and I've never told the story to my sister. So if you guys are watching this video, sorry that this happened to me. I don't mean to embarrass you. Guys, this is what happened. Let me paint you the picture. When I was living at home, I lived in a suburb, right? And our town is basically in it's a very hilly town, and the center of the town is in the middle of like a crater kind of thing, and the rest of the town goes out with hills. So where I was living right on top of this hill, and this hill went all the way down into the main food district, and there was a bar there. So imagine this. Imagine a long hill, about a 15-minute walk, a long hill up. My house is right here. Long hill, bar is right here. So at this point in my life, I wasn't drinking at home yet. I had been drinking at home, but my big thing was drinking at bars. I love to be social. I love to be out and about, because at this point in my life, I had really lost all my friends. I had lost all my friends, but I still was a very social person. So I would hang out at bars just because I would have somebody to talk to, you know what I mean? But the problem was I would hang out at bars all day. I would go in at like 11 a.m. and I would start drinking, and I would leave at like midnight or whenever they cut me off, you know? And the problem was, because I never kept alcohol at my house, I had to basically get as loaded as I could before I went home. So this one particular day, I was drinking on my own. I didn't have any friends at this point. I was just drinking alone at the bar, and I had enough money to keep drinking and take a cab. I think I had like $100 in my pocket that night. So I had enough to take a cab home. I had enough to be safe. I had enough. It wasn't a problem. But the big thing was I couldn't stop drinking. So I kept drinking and I kept drinking and I kept drinking, and then I got down to $50 and I got down to $40 and I got down to $30. And then I was at the point where I was so loaded and I could barely stand up. And I had to make that decision, and the decision was, do I order one more big beer or do I call a cab home? And obviously I didn't call a cab home, because I rarely called a cab home because of my addiction. I would always spend the extra money drinking, and then I would worry about how I got home later, you know? 95% of the time I got home okay. I stumbled home and I made it home okay. This particular time I did not make it home okay. So that night we had a big blizzard. We had a big snowstorm. I remember it was big snow squalls. I think we got over a foot of snow. It was a huge snowstorm. And that particular night, I was out drinking at the bottom of the hill. And I got to the point where I had to either spend that $10 on another beer or call a cab and go home, and I decided not to. So I drank the rest of my beer and I started walking home, and I was so drunk, you guys. I was so drunk. I was walking and I could barely walk 5 or 6 steps, you know, let alone walk a half an hour home up this hill. So I start walking and I've only been walking for like maybe 5 or 10 minutes at this point, and I'm already about to pass out. I'm already so exhausted, and I'm basically just at the start of the bottom of the hill, and I'm so fucking tired, excuse my language. So I keep walking and I keep walking and I keep walking, and there's points where I'll walk and I'll have to stop and just gather myself, because again, guys, I was so loaded. At this point, I don't really remember what happened, one thing that I do remember happening was I knew that I wasn't going to get home. I knew that there was no physical way that I could gather the energy in my body to walk home. I knew I couldn't do it. And for a moment there, I thought I was going to die. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die in a snowbank on my way home from the bar. And I'm going to go missing, and nobody's going to find me until the snow melts, and oh my God. And you know what I did? I did something that I think probably saved my life, but the last thing that I remember doing was walking into the street. I remember walking, because on this hill, there's a big street that goes alongside of it. And I remember walking to the street and falling down in like the lane, not in like the driving lane, but in the lane that's in between the road and the sidewalk. I passed out there. And the reason that I did that was because I figured that my only chance that I'm going to survive this night is if I walk over to the side of the road, pass out there, and hopefully somebody drives by and sees me. Hopefully somebody passes by and notices that there's somebody lying on the side of the street. And luckily they did. Luckily they did, because the next day I woke up in the hospital. I had no idea what was going on. This was at the time where I was not suicidal. This was much earlier than my suicide attempts. So I had no reason to necessarily wake up in the hospital. But I woke up in the hospital, and it was absolutely terrifying because I didn't know what was going on. And then it took about an hour for the nurse to finally come by and see that, you know, I'm awake and I'm okay. And then I asked, what on earth happened last night? And just what I was told was that they found me lying in the snow on the side of the street, and an ambulance brought me to the hospital, you know? So I'm really glad that I survived that. I've never told my dad this, and I've never told my sister this, because we actually have a family member in my family who's a drug addict. But she's terrible. She's a terrible person, and it's not necessarily she's a terrible person because she's a drug addict. She's just an absolutely terrible person. And she once passed out in a snowbank. And I never ever wanted to tell my dad about it or my sister about it because I didn't want them to compare me to this particular person in my family. So the only person that I ever ended up telling that to was my group in therapy. So, guys, I just want to let you know how comfortable I am with you. I just want to let you guys know that I am totally comfortable sharing these things with you because I truly believe that it helps people, and I'm glad that you guys have an interest in it, and I'm glad to share it. So guys, that is the story about how I almost died in the snow. If somebody wouldn't have driven by or hadn't have seen me that night, I most certainly would have froze to death, 100%. Not a shadow of doubt in my mind. Either way, guys, I want to do more things that are happy and positive and fun, okay? So the next video I have coming up, I'm doing this really funny parody on HelloFresh and Factor meals and all of these meals that are advertised to you like you're an absolute moron and you can't cook yourself and you can't go to the grocery yourself because you're such a little baby and you can't do it. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be my first real comedic video on the channel, so I'm really excited about it. I've worked on it for a while and I'm excited to show it to you. Other than that, guys, I've got a lot of editing to do tonight. I've got a lot of cleaning up to do. I hope you guys are enjoying my sleeping series that I'm doing on my shorts. If you want, I have absolutely terrible nightmares, and I've been recording my sleep, and you can see me just freaking out the whole time. Lastly, tomorrow is the Michael Jordan giveaway. We're giving away Michael Jordan BCCG 10. It's right here. We'll be giving this guy away tomorrow. I'll be doing the draw for it at, let's say 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So whoever wins, I will comment on your comment, and you'll see that you've won. I'll also post a video doing the raffle so you guys see that it's legitimate too. Either way, guys, stick in for that. I really appreciate your support. To all of the new subscribers, if you watch this video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you have any suggestions for videos that you would like to see in the future, please let me know. I'm always open to it. And that's about it. Guys, wherever you are in the whole wide world, please be safe, please be sober, and if you're not going to be sober, totally fine, guys. Totally fine. Just be safe about it. Be with good people. Be with people you know. And remember, your parents love you, and every one of your friends wants you to wake up tomorrow. Alright, guys? Bonsoir. Bye.